The conditions I suffered from included food allergies, fibromyalgia type pain, fatigue, and then the kicker was extreme electrosensitivity. I couldn't go anywhere with Wi-Fi. If I used my phone, it would burn my hand and make my vision go in one eye. So I was basically not able to go almost anywhere at one point. And it's very important to know that this didn't just happen to me, it happened to my husband and my 3 children as well. The electrical sensitivity I've had for about 3 years, but before that I already had the symptoms of fatigue and pain, and the allergies had started to. And I was also having a lot of problems with my cognition. There were days where I couldn't think. So our perfect storm basically was having lived through a number of renovations and then moving into a brand new house. And then that house had a smart home system in it, which had about 15 Wi-Fi routers in it. Plus it had geothermal and solar, and a lighting system that had a lot of dirty electricity, I think. And so over the course of 4 years living there, our family got very ill, but we couldn't figure out what the cause was. And so we addressed everything with nutrition, functional medicine, supplements, diet. We spent thousands of dollars. I don't even know. I can't even think how much money we spent. And I was getting sick myself, but I was rushing around trying to heal my children, and I could barely drive anymore. I couldn't focus, and I kept getting lost taking my children to all these doctors, and everybody was falling apart. My 8-year-old daughter got arthritis. My son, who at the time was 11, got ADD and depression, and my little one had all these digestive problems and couldn't sleep, and so things were getting bad. But then we found that it was an environmental issue by becoming electrically sensitive. So we moved, we changed the children's schools, we totally changed our lives. And our symptoms improved, but our electrical sensitivity didn't. And then my symptoms started to get worse, and the chronic fatigue and the pain and stuff started to come back, even though I was in a safe environment. I'm a health coach, and studied integrative nutrition. So my first line of defense was nutrition, and in the beginning that helped. I got everybody off of every different kind of food, but it got to a point where we could only eat about 5 foods in our family. And then we had supplements, of course, functional medicine practitioners. We did energy medicine. We did acupuncture. Of course, massage. Because I was electrically sensitive, someone had put me in touch with another woman in my town who was electrically sensitive. And I hadn't seen her for a few months, and I emailed her, and I wasn't even sure if she would respond because she didn't tend to use a computer. And I got a one-liner back: "I am so much better." And I could feel that energy in that one line. And so I called her and I said, "What are you doing?" She said, "I'm really busy, I'm going out, but you just have to get Annie Hopper's tapes." But by then I was so skeptical. Like, I've tried everything. I'm not buying another set of DVDs. I gotta sit there and do that, So I had this skepticism. So she came over and walked me through a little bit what the theory of it was. And then I bought the book. And I had studied a lot about neuroplasticity. And it was like a light bulb. I'm like, oh my God, this woman has figured this out. And I was like, how come I didn't figure that out? I read these books too. I'm like, no. Annie has this wonderful set of wisdom and knowledge and credentials, and together she put all of this together and created this program. And I literally have goosebumps. I was reading that book over and over again with tears pouring down my face, because I'm like, this is it. This is it. This is the answer. So I managed to fly here and get here, and I was not feeling good when I got here, but I managed to walk in the door. I had changes immediately the next day. I woke up and I immediately started to scan my body for pain, because that was what I did every day, because it always hurt, and I couldn't find it. I'm like, no. There's got to be some pain in here somewhere. And I'm like, well, the back pain's gone. Well, my foot hurts a little bit. Okay. The next day, the foot pain was gone too. And then the other thing was I was waking up early. I never wake up early. And if I do, I stay in bed for the last possible second because I don't want to get up and face my day. I kept popping out of bed every day this week. I've been popping out of bed. And I thought, I'd like to do some exercise now. So I got on the floor and did like my Kundalini yoga exercises and the toughest ones that I do that I normally try to avoid. And then I started doing my practice rounds. And then I felt even better. And it was this wonderful cycle of feeling better and better and better. And then the next day I had to do some email on my phone. And I hate to turn my phone on because I immediately feel bad. So I turned my phone on and stuck it over by the door so that it would get the incoming emails, and went and jumped in the shower. When I came out, I had forgotten that I'd turned my phone on, and I never felt my phone. Usually I let all the emails come in and then I put it on airplane mode and then I read them. And I read all the emails with my phone on, and I couldn't feel my phone. If you're electrically sensitive, you know that's a big deal. So, yeah. And then there was something else about the program, which was like a huge light bulb coming on, is I realized that not just my electrical sensitivity, not just my food sensitivities, not just this pain, but a lot of negative self-talk that I've had my whole life from a child was from my limbic system. And when I realized that I'm not at fault and I'm okay. And I can be nice to myself instead of kicking myself around the block for talking to myself like this and thinking, oh, I can't help it, there's something wrong with me, and it's my fault I'm sick or whatever. And so part of the steps was to tell myself that I love myself. And I did that for the first time and meant it. So one thing that happened to me when I became unwell, or that I've kind of had this my whole life, is a real addiction to sugar and carbs and caffeine. And I think a lot of people have this. And as my system has started to calm down over the week, I haven't been craving that at all. In fact, I could just look at the desserts and just say, nah, I'm not interested. Not self-control, just literally not interested. Which I think is huge because I think so many people overeat out of this stress reaction from the limbic system, and I didn't realize that. I thought it was my lack of self-control. So that was a huge eye-opener. What I would say to someone if they're considering doing the program, first of all, read the book because it's based on science. And I think for us skeptical people who've been searching and searching, reading the science really helps. For me, that was the light bulb. And then I would say the cost of this program is nothing compared to the cost that you've probably already spent in trying to make yourself well and will in the future. And you cannot put a price on the well-being that you get from being here. It's not just that my symptoms have got better, but I feel like a new person. It's an emotional healing as well because your limbic system controls your emotions. So you can't go wrong. I mean, if all I got out of this was that my pain was gone, was that worth it? Yes. But I've got so much more, and you know what else I have? Is hope. And I have the surety that I am going to be a whole new version of myself that I never thought was possible.